Welcome to McDonald's Coach's Bench, week 10 of Coach's Bench, each week with Coach Chandler Tygard. As we go to week 10, the Blue Raiders come in 6-3 on the year and assured of a playoff spot, and that's great news. Second year in a row that Coach Tygard's been here, second year in a row, Cleveland's going to the playoffs. This program sponsored each week by McDonald's Restaurant. Here in the Southeast Tennessee area, thanks to all of our friends at McDonald's Restaurants for bringing you this program for many, many years. We appreciate Mark Smith and everybody there at McDonald's. Coach Tygard, I want to start today with you 3 words. Defense, defense,
right.
Defense.
Yep.
Man, did they do a job.
Yeah, we played good. So, got a win over Bradley, first time in 10 years. So
Right.
we're excited about that. 14-13. We had the ball in the 3. We could have put one in there at the very end, but I didn't think that would be the right thing to do. And so we'll take the 1-point win, got out of there, and everybody was happy.
The W counts, if it's by 30 or by 1 or whatever, especially in a rivalry game where you're trying to get the taste out of your mouth for the program not coming away with the W for 9 years. So the 1-point win or whatever it was, end result was what Bear Nation didn't want to see and what Raider Nation thrived on.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun night. So I was just happy for everybody, the community, the fans, you, all the media people, everybody that's just been around Cleveland for a long time, seeing Kelly Bender and people like that. It's been 9 straight since
Yes.
we won. And so to get them a win was really, really fun, and just to see everybody's face and excitement and the kids. And it's a mental block when you've lost to your rival for 9 years, because in the back of your mind, the whole game is they're kind of waiting for something to go bad. But all it takes is one time for you to win.
Right.
And now they know they can beat them, and streaks can go the other direction in a hurry. Look at Tennessee and Alabama over the last 30 years. So, we're just going to keep playing well. We're county champs for the first time since 2013, I guess. And so we're just real excited about that.
Absolutely. I have to go to a personal point here. Forgive me, but I just can't pass this moment up. This man came up to the broadcast booth and he literally, I think, jumped 2 flights of stairs to get up there and do a post game with us, which meant a lot that he came up there and made the effort after such a big win, talking to other media, his team, fans, and everybody. He still made time to come up there. And one of the highlights for me personally, part of the conversation was he dedicated it to me and other people with the long supporters, and that just meant the world to me. But I appreciate that.
Of course. Well, you've been doing it a long time, and
well, that was one of the highlights right there.
Yeah. And I know how excited everybody is that's been involved in the program for a long time, and so just to beat them, and nobody cares what the score is.
That's
we knew
right.
It was going to be close.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it in last week's show that the average point differential was I think it was 10.3 points over 12 years.
Right.
So we knew it was going to be close, but we pulled it out in the end, and just happy for the kids and the community and everybody.
I have to ask this question. Usually I ask this, you kind of give me a grimace, but let's talk just a second about some people who 3 weeks ago were more on the bench than they were on the field. But 3 weeks in a row, you lost a key player. Some of the people who have stepped into the role and done a great job for you.
Yeah, so we've actually talked about this. Kyrie Scott is one that was a JV player to start the year, and then now became a starting safety. Got an interception in the biggest game of the year.
Right.
Max Denatolis was starting at middle linebacker. Lacorius Edens was another sophomore starting on defense. And so you got kids that were JV players to start the season, and we played 15 JV games this year.
Yes.
And so you see over the course of the year, they start to get better and better and better, and then now by the end of the season, they're ready to go, and they step up in the biggest game, and Kyrie gets an interception, and Max has played great, and just so many of those young kids stepping up.
And, Coach, I suppose most players feel this, maybe especially freshman, sophomore years, even junior years. You put in the summer program. You put in the weights over the winter. You do early practices. You do everything, and yet you're not the man out there starting. And I think it would rub on somebody's desire. You find out if you have the fire for football, and these kids are showing perseverance pays off. You may not see it today, but you'll get your opportunity.
Yeah, and there's a lot of kids that quit over the course of the season. And so there were some that, were the third string receiver or whatever. And, well, you look up now, we've had so many injuries, they would be the number one receiver, but they're not playing anymore.
Yeah.
And so now you get another kid to start stepping up. And this week we have new players in that spot. So you saw Martavius Smith play a lot at multiple positions. Kyrese Westfield is getting to play this week. And so, you see, it's just nice to see the reward come for those kids that have been patient. They didn't listen to what their parents were saying or someone else was saying. They were just patient and working. And then now they get to start against Bradley. They make an interception. They make a big play.
Right.
And they're going down in history as getting to do that. And it's just nice to see them stick it out and believe in the process, and it works out well for them in the end.
You got to put in the work. You got to have some patience, and when the chance comes, you got to make the most of it. I was especially proud of Montavious because I know 2 weeks ago he had an injury and wasn't able. I don't think he played in the Maryville game. Played a little bit a week or two ago, but it was great seeing him contribute last week.
Sorry, it's really distracting with Barrett acting a fool in here. Barrett, sit down. I got my 4-year-old, for people that don't see on camera. He's the wild one out of my two little boys.
He's going to be a great football player someday.
Yeah, he's playing tackle football next year at 5, so he's ready. He's wild. But Martavious has been hurt. He had a groin injury, and then he got to come back full speed. Unfortunately, he got hurt on the last play of the game. There was kind of a cheap shot taken on him, so he's probably out this week.
That's a shame.
Yeah, well, and I'm proud of our kids. There was a lot of chippiness and talking and late hits and things like that. And I thought we were the more disciplined team. We had a lot less personal fouls.
Right.
We got them on the shift again this year and some of those things. We were the more physical team. We ran the ball. And so it was just nice to kind of play that style of game. But our kids have come a long way from the start of the season, and we didn't have any retaliatory, personal fouls or late hits. They just kind of took it, and we took their penalties. And I do think it was a big difference in the game.
It certainly was. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about last week, and then we'll talk about tonight's game up at Hardin Valley on Halloween. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
There's been a huge surge of high schoolers using e-cigarettes this past year. New research is shedding light on the dangers of vaping in teens.
We know the statistics and stories. We've seen drugs in dreams.
We've seen it wreck families and friends.
We've seen people who felt like they reached the end.
There's been a haze of self-medication
hanging over our generation.
Dealing with the stress, the anxiety, and the pain.
But it's time to live again.
It's time to breathe again.
To fill our lungs with the fresh air of possibility.
I'm so sick of the stress.
To find your purpose.
And to gain new opportunities.
I'm building my best life.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
We breathe deep to speed.
To sing, to perform, to laugh, and to live.
I'm stronger without it.
Out of the cloud. Out of the haze.
Out of the hiding.
Out of the addiction.
Out of being dependent on a drug that makes us numb.
This is our life.
Together, we are
stronger without it. You are stronger without it.
My high is chasing my dreams.
I promise you are stronger without it.
Yeah, I'm stronger without it.
Back to McDonald's Coaches Bench, segment 2, and we have to take a moment and thank CHS Live. They produce this program every week, and Dale Halfacre and his group at CHS Live, very dependable people, do a great job. Try to catch CHS Live whenever you can. They do a lot for this high school. It's a great program here. We appreciate the support of CHS Live and the community that supports it, the administration that supports it, and these young people are learning some really valuable information and getting a good education about video, audio, what makes a good program, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks to each and every one of them for producing this show each and every week. I was a little surprised last week that, to me, Bradley stayed in the eye more than I thought they would. Were you surprised that they kept running like they did? Or I was expecting a more old-fashioned wing T type thing, I guess, with a lot of inside handoffs and all, and they just wanted to do power.
Yeah, that was what they did. Because, I mean, honestly, they transitioned from a spread offense to the shoe-to-shoe wing T, and so you can't probably pick up all the traditional wing T stuff that when you think of wing T that you can put in the middle of the season. So they did a mix of shoe-to-shoe wing T like Coach Pemberton does, and then the I formation, and had a really good running back, and he carried the ball well. But they actually did a lot more new things that we had not seen, had not prepared for. They actually got Kyrie on that first touchdown from a new formation. They caught us in a coverage and sent two guys vertical on him and made a good play. David Yancey made an interception on another play that was open. They missed a trick play that was open that we had a feeling they were going to do something like that, and we didn't get the timeout called in time. So they had a lot of new stuff, similar to kind of what we had until Braden went down on Wednesday. And so we lost a good portion of what we were planning on doing, and only had Thursday to prepare. But, credit to them. They kept it close. They held the ball the entire quarter. We only had 3 plays in the third quarter. And so they were able to keep it close. But really, the whole time we felt like we were kind of in control and knew as long as we got the ball back there at the very end, then we were going to be able to drive the field and score.
Absolutely. And as we kind of wrap up celebrating last week, it's hard to move on, but we got to. But any final thoughts about your team last week that you haven't already said? But you went over the composure, the competitiveness, everything about the team. Any last thoughts?
No, I mean, they did great. So now the hard part is you have to forget about last week. Luckily, we're playing on Thursday, so we've got a short week this week, and we're all in on Hardin Valley.
We'll be back in just a moment. Wrap up Coaches McDonald's bench each week with Coach Tigard right after this.
This is not a test. This is your Cleveland Blue Raiders broadcast system announcing the commencement of your annual CHS football game, led by the head football coach, Chandler Tigard.
Last segment of McDonald's Coaches Bench, thanks to Mark Smith, longtime supporter, and the Smith family over the years for supporting this program and the Cleveland Athletic Program. Coach, first of all, tonight being Halloween, a Thursday night, the circumstances that this one is on a Thursday night.
Man, we haven't had a normal week yet. Whether it's cancellations or something going on, or there's a Raider Way and the kids are out of school on game day, or of course now we're playing on Thursday and Halloween, so we're just kind of used to it at this point. And so, playing on Thursday, Halloween, kids aren't necessarily thrilled about that. I know all the families aren't with their little kids and all that. But we got to do the trunk or treating on Monday, and so all the kids got their trick or treating out of the way. But my boys and everybody will be at the game, so they'll wear their costumes.
Good.
I think Camp's a ninja, and hey Barrett, what are you for Halloween? I can't remember what he is. Oh, he's they're stormtroopers and Star Wars characters.
Oh,
so,
no, that's going to be a good scene right there.
Yeah, so I think he's the Mandalorian or Boba Fett or something like that.
Good deal.
So everybody will be dressed up at the game.
All right, we're looking forward to it. 7 o'clock kickoff on Mix 104.1. And if you can't be at Knox Hardin Valley tonight, 7 o'clock for the kick. Honestly, a tough year record-wise for Hardin Valley. What do you expect of them? They will not be in the playoffs. They've got nothing to lose. They can try anything in the world they want to do. What do you expect out of them?
They do a lot of that. So they're similar to us to where they do, they'll run some fake punts and trick plays, and they're the most multiple offense we've seen. They run some really good stuff. They just haven't had the athletes on offense to execute it yet, but they're definitely going in a good direction. Their coach came from Georgia. He's been around at a lot of schools, so they run some good X's and O's. On defense, they return the majority of the guys, I think eight returning starters from last year, who was pretty good on defense. One of the better defensive ends, outside linebackers, number one that we saw in the region last year is back, and he's a senior. So 8 seniors, probably 7 of 8 are playing their last football game ever.
Right.
It's their senior night, so they're going to give all they can. It's dangerous for us because we're coming off a big win, and then you're already looking on Friday. We play the loser. If we win, we play the loser of Science Hill and Dobbins Bennett. So we're already doing some research on them, but still got to focus on Hardin Valley. And you've got this game right here in the middle. That's dangerous. They're good enough to beat us, as every team in 6A could. And so we have to focus and play our game and hopefully get in and out of there healthy and injury free. And
that's huge.
Well, we're making a team and making it work this week, and same as we've done the last probably 3 or 4 weeks. Just see who we got. We brought up some freshmen. So we brought up 11 freshmen, and they're helping from a depth standpoint for scout team, and hopefully some of those kids could get in. We just haven't had a game where all the young guys get in at the end of the game this season.
Well, maybe tonight's the night, but please, as a fan, this is hard to do, but as a fan, don't think this one is over before kickoff. You never know in high school. That's why they play the game. That's why talking heads like me can tell you what the score is going to be. We don't know. The game is the thrill. So listen to the game, watch the game, be at the game if at all possible. That's going to wrap up McDonald's Coaches Bench for this week. We'll talk to Coach Tigert next week about the first round of the playoffs. Thanks to CHS Live. Thanks to you for listening and watching.
I'm coming to tweak the shit's forever and rapping and